Moving on, like I said, just want to introduce myself to you. Who am I? And a lot of you may not recognize this face because this is a picture from a while back. Also, I work with students here at e-GMAT, and you've probably seen my name in the emails that come through to you. I've also worked with a few specifically one-on-one and helped you reach your target like GMAT scores, right? I work with the strategy team here at e-GMAT. It's one of the most dynamic teams here, and you must be. I'm sure that you've gotten an email from us with a path forward, with some sort of analysis on what to do. And this is the kind of team that I'm part of, and I've helped a bunch of students really get to their target scores. So here's a little tidbit on who I've helped and how that works. So just if you look at these success stories, it's just basically one or two success stories that have been published yet. But I work with a bunch of students with their own journey. Everybody has their own journey, and I try to make their learning, their experience as customized as possible, right? Both of these videos have different, again, different, visions of me, and today is a different vision, so please don't go by that. You'll also read a lot of reviews about the different instructors that at e-GMAT. So you have DJ and you have Ashutosh, you have Deepak, you have Nava, and all of us are part of the strategy team. You've gotten an email from probably one of us at some point of time, and each one of us comes with a very diverse background, a unique set of experiences. But there's one thing in common, right? The one thing that I think is in common with all of us is that we really, really want to drive customer success, which basically means that we want you to score well on the GMAT. That's our sole goal. At the end of the day, when I shut my laptop, I'm always thinking, how can this XYZ person do well? How can we improve things to get them there, right? And that's always at the back of our minds. And you have Archit and Ashutosh, who are tenured employees at e-GMAT, who have thousands of students really get to their target GMAT scores. You have Deepak, who is an IM Ahmedabad pass out, so that is pedigree in itself. And you have Noah, who comes with more than 8 years of work experience working with customers and their different pain points. So he really understands where you're coming from. And this is the kind of team that really wants to drive your success, right? And that's something that I wanted to share with all of you before we started off. So here, first question to you, three stages of learning. So I have a poll that I want to run. Can you just come up with your responses? I would love to see what you guys say, because that would really draft out things going forward. So we have a lot of people saying yes, that's good, that's a really good thing. But we have about 7 or 8 people saying no as well. That's quite interesting. Okay, okay, perfect. I think this is fair enough. So we have 25% people who don't know what three stages of learning, and this is exactly why I put this slide in. I'm glad I did, right? So specifically speaking, the e-GMAT learning process is defined in a way that works for everyone, right? It's not something that's going to work only for a person with a high ability or a low ability or someone in between. It has to work for everyone. And that's why you have three stages of learning. The first stage, as you might imagine, is where you lay the foundation to everything. It's all about the concepts. It's all about understanding what you're learning, right? And that is key to really moving on to the next few stages. Because if you don't do this right, if you don't lay a strong foundation, the building is always going to fall flat on its face, right? Stage two. Now, this is what we're going to be discussing today, and this is frankly one of the most key stages in your learning. And a lot of you right now are in this stage of learning, and this is why we're doing this. Because if you don't get this right, guys, if you do not get this right, I assure you myself from my own experience when I scored a 700, you don't cement a concept. GMAT questions evolve every single time you give the GMAT. And this would definitely come true when you give the GMAT itself. So make sure that you cement these concepts. And we'll discuss how to do that. But I can't emphasize it, right? And finally, this is stage three, where is test readiness, where you test out your ability. And it's basically a culmination of the first two stages, right? Right. Now, the question is, why cementing? Okay, so before I get into that specific, I want to give you like a fun fact. GMAT Club did a survey of about 70,000 students, and guess what? 80% of them did not practice the right way. So this is exactly why we have this webinar. It's very, very important, guys, to practice in the right way, to have the right direction and a thought, right? So this is the stat. What does it do? So let me put this into perspective for you. Let's say you want to give your test in December right now, or you want to give it in November, and your prep time is around 3 months. If you don't do cementing right, you're going to push that and make it to probably 5 months, 6 months. What's going to happen? You're going to miss your round deadline. And I don't think anybody wants that because we all know how difficult round three is, right? Explaining the process of how we do cementing. So before I do this, just want to again have a quick poll for you guys. I want you to basically tell me honestly, what is it that you think is the next right step after you do the concepts, right? So I'm relaunching this polling. Please have a look and then give me your opinion. Okay, so some of you think taking quizzes will always. Okay, fair enough. We have different opinions coming in. Okay, you take a mock to measure the improvement. Start taking time quizzes. Perfect. So let me end the polling, right? So specifically, the right answer is the third one. The right answer is the third one. Guys, the first two are actually sucker choices, and you're going to see a lot of those in the GMAT. But the idea is very clear. Once you're done with concepts, it does not mean that you jump and get a sense of your ability, right? You're missing out a stage there in between, and that's precisely what we discussed, right? And that for me is extremely key, that transition. So as you can see, concept and application quizzes come in the first bit. Then you have cementing quizzes, and then finally you have the time and custom quizzes. Now, there's a very specific reason, guys, why we don't have nothing between concept and application quizzes, right? So timed custom quizzes are basically something that is very challenging. So the cementing quizzes create a transition. So it's this transition that is important, right? And you will stumble upon the next stage if you don't do this right. Okay, so moving on to Scholaranium and the powerful tool it is. Before I get into this, Scholaranium in itself, I cannot sell this enough. But having used it myself, having seen it myself, it's probably one of the most powerful data tools that you have out there right now. And I'm going to take you through a live demo of it as well, so that you understand how we see it and how you see it, and we can have that sort of connivance on how to use it specifically. Just 1 second.
DJ, can I just
Yeah.
say one thing before before you go to Scholaranium? So Dhananjay has covered cementing really, really well. I mean, it's pretty much done everything, and it's a really critical step. I think one thing that he has failed to mention, which I think he knows implicitly, is that the composition of a cementing quiz is the same composition that you get in an ability quiz, which is the same composition that you would get in a mock test for a particular subsection. So think of a cementing quiz as an untimed mock for that subsection. I think that's really important to know.
Well, I think that's a really, really good point, guys. I think that goes without saying. Um, Having said that, I just want to take you through a virtual tour of Scholaranium. Just give me a second. Guys, can you hear me?
We can Dhananjay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So let me just show you one of the accounts here, and this is how it works, right? So how do you get to Scholaranium? That's the first question.
Dhananjay,
Yeah.
can you mute everyone? I think as an
Yeah.
admin you can mute everyone.
I
So
think I'll do that. Yeah, I've done that. Perfect. So yeah, just getting back to what I was saying, giving you a virtual tour of Scholaranium, right? Uh, this is how you get to Scholaranium. For one, you go to Verbal or you go to Quant and you just click on the button right below Scholaranium. So the tag that is right next to Scholaranium, whether it's gold or platinum, is the kind of product you have, whether it's the Verbal online product or the GMAT online product. So the GMAT online product comes with way more questions, whereas the verbal online product does not come with as many questions, and that's something that I want you to know. So as far as the Scholaranium platform is concerned, when you get a first view of this, what is it that you feel? Uh, there's a lot of clarity here, right? There's a lot of clarity in the sense that you know where your question banks are. These are your question banks. You know what your dashboard looks like. This is your dashboard. And then there are a few tabs that we're going to get into discussing as well. We have skill data, we have attempts, and then we have bookmarks and notes specifically for Scholaranium. Now, the dashboard is designed very, very intuitively, very smartly for students to really get a better understanding of things, right? And that's precisely what we're looking for. Now, when you look at this, what is it that you want to gauge from this entire bit of information? And this is what I want to show you as well. Now, when you look at verbal question summary, there's three colors that we actually have over here, and it's similar to the fuel tank in your car, right? It shows you the amount of fuel you have left. This is precisely that. These are bar graphs showing how many questions you have left. Whenever you're in the orange bit, you need to realize that you need to start using your questions appropriately. Just an additional side note to all of this: the GMAT online package, it has 1,000+ questions in verbal. It has 1,000+ questions in quant. We've added a bunch of new questions in quant, by the way, and we also have OG 2020 as well. So that's more than 3,000 questions available to you at a moment's notice, right? And again, 3,000 questions, guys, 3,000, right? Now let's look at another dashboard. This is where you can see your accuracy for hard level questions, medium level questions, and then easy level questions. So questions, why do you need this, right? Why is it that you want to see this all in one? Because at some point in time, you need to understand that, okay, I'm getting these hard questions right, but I'm not getting medium level questions right. What does that mean? What insight do you draw from that? It's very simple, right? If you're getting easier questions wrong, there's conceptual gaps there. If you're getting harder questions wrong, there's process gaps. I will get to that later, but I just wanted to share that bit of information with you. And finally, this is where you create quizzes or take quizzes from. So I wanna share a little bit of information here. When you take a quiz, the difference in the word take and create is just simple. When you take a quiz, you're trying to just evaluate what your ability is at that given point of time, right? You really need to understand, where am I? And when you create a custom quiz or just create a quiz, you're trying to figure out, how can I fix the issues that I already have? Right? And that's something I cannot, again, that's something that we really, really wanted to share with you guys, because you need to understand when to take these quizzes as well. Right? Moving back to the presentation, I've already discussed all of this with you, and now I'm going to get into the types of quizzes. And again, Rajat exactly mentioned this as an on-time custom quiz, right? And that's something I want to discuss with you as well. So what is the cementing quiz? It's taken in stage 2. Already discussed that. Just wanted to reiterate that to you. But they're more focused on building your accuracy. They're more focused on building that concept that you learned in those application and practice files. In addition, we have certain benchmarks that we have for medium level and hard level cementing quizzes. I've also already mentioned that over here. And this is an aggregate for 3 quizzes, right? So just wanted to mention that very, very clearly to you guys as well. A fun fact, we have a little bit of a quiz coming up towards the end. Please make a note of all of this. All of these, I'm just giving you a little bit of information. Make sure that you have this written down somewhere, right? This is extremely important. And we'll get to the importance of why it should be 70%, why 55%. The next kind of quiz is the custom quiz. And why do we create that custom quiz? We create that custom quiz to work on those areas. We create that custom quiz to improve that timing aspect that we've kind of given that comfort while we're doing cementing, right? And the accuracy here is 70%. And finally, you have an ability quiz. This is where you really assess your subsection percentile that you created in the PSP, right? You need to understand that this gives you a really, really accurate indicator that how have you learned, how have you cemented, and how are you really applying these concepts. And we have again a benchmark over here so that you can evaluate yourself, right? Right. Moving on to the next slide here, skill data and its insights. So,
DJ,
yeah,
can you go back to the prior slide?
yeah.
So, yeah. So I think the thing that you want to really make sure is that as you're going from that cementing to that ability quiz, you're moving from that accuracy number to that percentile number. The ability quiz gives you that final percentile number. But if you don't first prove your accuracy to the platform and you go to that percentile number right away, you're going to find more often than not, you're going to miss that percentile number. On the other hand, if you follow this process, it may seem like 3 steps, but trust me, it takes a lot. It happens a lot quickly. Whereas if you miss that, if you just take that ability quiz directly, or you take a mock test directly, what you're going to find is you're going to be disheartened. You're going to have to go back to the course. And that's when your prep would be elongated. So I think really, really important to understand that this transition, there's a reason why the system was developed. There's a lot of thought that goes into that building that cementing quiz over there. And I don't know, Dhananjay, if you're covering this later. I'm sorry if that were the case. I don't know.
Just feel free, because this is a product you made. So please feel free to pitch in anytime you want. But so I'm going to move on from this and discuss the skill data insights and whatever we can really get from this beautiful platform called Scholaranium. So I'm going to take you back to the account here, and we're going to look at skill data as different tabs now, right? So as you can see over here, what do you get? What are the key bits of information and metrics that you get from this? The first thing is your accuracy, and that's something that Rajat spoke about. When you're cementing, when you're doing custom quizzes, you're moving from accuracy and you're moving towards a percentile, which is exactly why we have the ability bit, because you can, judge your ability over here. Specifically speaking, if you want to look at SC and your weaker areas, you can clearly see your accuracy here. And I forgot to mention this as well. You can also have a look at your average time correct and incorrect time. So when you look at this dashboard, guys, what is it that you see? What is it that you can really derive from it? So if I'm taking 1 minute 27 seconds for a correct question, but I'm taking almost 1 minute 20 seconds more for an incorrect one, what does this show you? Like, I want you guys to really think about this. I'm taking 1 minute 20 seconds more on a question that I've gotten wrong. What happened there? Just give it a thought. Just give it a thought. And the first few things that come to my mind is, I just can't let go of a question. And even when I can't solve a question, I just don't let go of it, right? So that's one particular explanation for it. And there's multiple. So look at the value and wealth of information that you can get from it. And that's exactly what I'm trying to point out to you as well, right? Moving back to the slides. Yeah. So as far as the attempts tab and data is concerned, we've created this for you to be able to gauge your entire performance trend, your entire summary of how you're going about doing things, with a little bit of a pop-up window so that you understand how you're doing for every quiz, right? So as you can see over here, if I want one place to really look at everything, in specifically and not a dashboard, just clear metrics, I have all of it here, right? It's very, very visible. I click on any one of them, and then I can go and definitely have a look at the quiz, right? So an interesting feature here as well is that you can see the bookmark questions and the notes for this specific quiz here itself. Again, this is a massive benefit because it saves you so much of time, right? I mean, that's something that we've really put in a lot of thought into, right? Again, so the insights that we draw from all of this information, I'm again going to switch to the live account, but before I move there, a few key terms that I want you to remember: tag time, unproductive time, how to really check your overall performance. And we're going to go through the live account. So I'm going to ask you a little bit of a question. I'm going to randomly select quiz, and we're going to look at it. Probably let's select this one, and we'll see how we perceive information, right? When you look at this particular quiz summary, what is it that you see, and what is the first thing that you see? So I'll create a small poll for you as well over here. I just want you to quickly tell me what is it that you see when you're actually when you have low accuracy in consecutive quizzes, and what does it suggest? Okay, we have conceptual gaps, process gaps, need more practice. Remember, this is multiple answers here, so go ahead and mark as many as you want. Right, so I'm going to end the polling, and guys, all of you are right. This is all of it is absolutely correct. You have conceptual gaps, you have process gaps as well, and you definitely do need more practice too. Right, so that's something that I wanted to point out to you. Now let's get back to this. Let's get back to this information over here. Now let's look at very interesting data. So I have an SE medium level question. I did it in 28 seconds, right? But there's other medium level questions that I'm taking 2 minutes 33 on. What does that show me? What does that show me for verbs versus modifiers? Well, like that's a very interesting tidbit, right? So what is the difference between those two things? The difference is quite simple, right? So that specific concept in verbs is something that you knew inside out. Otherwise, there's no way that you get that question done in 30 seconds. And similarly for modifiers, if you've taken 2.5 minutes, which is by the way 1 minute more than the ideal time for SE questions, you got stuck there, right? So there's something missing there. There's a process gap there. So this is just two questions, guys, and you can see like multiple things here. You can filter this out. You can arrange this and see which questions you're taking longer on. And there's multiple things. There's multiple array of things that you can see. And the summary is just to help you with stuff like what is my tag time, what is my productive time, and what is the amount of time that I need for a correct question. And these are things that become really important when you're giving the GMAT, right? It is a matter of seconds there, to be very, very honest. And then you can see accuracy and the weighted score here too.
Okay.
So there's clear insights you can
Yeah.
draw.
Go to the other tab, listing tab.
Yeah.
So I think here's something. So you've mentioned something is very, very valuable, and it probably is. If you sort them by difficulty or by time taken, I think that will come out a lot better. So you can sort these by time taken. That's fine. I think just the time taken part is good, because it showed all the So when you look at these two questions, one medium, one hard, where this particular student took upwards of 2 minutes, about almost 2.5 minutes. I think this definitely, as DJ mentioned, there's a process gap. You should review this. You should want to make sure that that you don't repeat the same, which is take those 2.5 minutes. But there's one other thing. Now, DJ, can you go sort this by serial number, please?
Yeah.
So if you sort this by serial number, what you see is that the luck factor in this particular quiz, which is towards the end in question number 11 and 12, the guy really, had little time left or so, and he still got them right. In this quiz, probably. In the next quiz, probably not. And we've had students who would take our mock tests and get a 770 or so, 760 or so, and essentially they would send that to us for analysis, and we say, okay, their question would be, are you at a 770? And you'd look at this towards the end, look at and identify this luck factor. And Archit is the one who's actually done this, and I think DJ has done a couple of times as well, this kind of analysis. And says, sorry, yes, you may have gotten a 770, but don't think that performance would repeat, because you were struggling for time in the end. You had that luck factor with you, which is why you were able to score this. Next time this happens, you probably get a 730. Unless you fix this issue, it's going to come and bite you. So I think you can be happy about this performance, and you should be, because despite that, you did really well. But there are these areas of improvement that this quiz results screen provides you with. And even when you get everything right, use those insights so that next time, you get better consistency with regards to, or next time you can repeat the same performance and be happy about it. Because frankly, this is just purely from a score standpoint, this is 95th percentile from a performance standpoint. But next time the guy takes the same quiz, he or she might end up with 85th just because of this.
Right. I think that's a really good point made by Rajat, and I would like to extend on it. When I took the GMAT for, I think, the second time, I didn't ask myself these questions, the whys. I just went about the score and said, oh my God, that's a great score. Okay, so I'm good at it. But you really need to ask that question why, and that's precisely what Rajat is mentioning. Moving to the next slide. Now, this is just a process-oriented bit. How do we do cementing? And it's just a simple process so that you guys understand how you move from one step to another. We're just making that easy for you, right? So the first three things that should come in your mind are: take 3 medium cementing quizzes, take 3 hard cementing quizzes, and strategically review each quiz after you're done. Again, I mentioned that strategically review each quiz after you're done, and then create an error log, right? And that's something that we really tell every student who works with us to do. Okay, so I have a quick poll for you after I show this diagram. So my question to you is this. You've not got 70% on 3 medium cementing quizzes. What is it you do? So just quickly answer this, and we will discuss this at length then. So you have conceptual gaps, process gaps. Okay. For people who think they're process gaps, but mostly people are thinking conceptual gaps. Guys, right answer, conceptual gaps. If you have scores less than 70% on medium level questions, so let me remind you, medium level questions, that will show a conceptual gap, right? Because you can't have a process gap, because frankly, these questions are not hard enough for you to have a process gap. So there's that learning for you, and we have devised a really key thing for you guys to really. This is the solution to fixing this problem. How do you fix it? So you do revisioning, and we're going to discuss this later. But it's an easy and quick fix. It might be painful, it might be time consuming, but it is the fix for you, and that's exactly what you need. Take the medicine, right? Now, my question to you is this: when you have an accuracy of less than 55% on 3 hard quizzes, what does that mean? Well, that means you have process gaps. That's how this information flows, right? And consequently, if you don't have the right percentages on these quizzes, you have both conceptual and process gaps, right? So we have a fix for this as well. That's revision B, and we'll discuss that. And goes without saying, and I'm gonna say this again, guys, please strategically review all your quizzes. Please do this. It helped me, it will help you. This is a very key component of practicing the right way, right? So I just wanted to show you guys what looks like the ideal scenario when you come to cementing, right? And this is what it looks like. You take 3 medium cementing quizzes, hit the accuracies, and this particular person has gone way above and beyond that as well. And then you hit the accuracies for the harder quizzes. But guess what? Look at the dates here. Uh, so this person has not taken firstly all cementing quizzes on one day. Why? Because they strategically reviewed it. Now, I'm going to share a fun fact about this particular picture with you towards the end as well. But if you notice, why is there a why is there a break? Why is there a gap? And there's a gap because they took the time to really review each question, and they didn't take more than 3. And that's something that you need to understand.
I think there's one thing, go back to that. It's a really important point that you're making. I want to just emphasize on this, add some more data to this. So this particular student did not do anything else. It's not that after taking the SC medium quiz, he was going and studying CR. He wasn't doing anything else over there. And the reason for that, just to the strategic review piece. So think about it, a cementing quiz takes about 30 minutes or actually even less than that. But to review that quiz requires another 30 to 40 minutes. And you want to write those things and you want to be deliberate while doing this. But the review doesn't stop there. Even beyond that, you need that headroom, because remember, these learnings need to, there's the reason why it's called cementing. These learnings, even with, as you go from one cementing quiz to the other, they have to cement. And without that drying out time, which means without those things kind of getting in your head, as you go from one cementing quiz to the other, they will not dry out. That strength will not build up. But by the way, if you give yourself that headroom, it builds up within a day, which is what you see over here. So you've got to give yourself that headroom. Don't just go watching TV right after you take a cementing quiz. That's kind of the worst thing you can do. Don't really push off that strategic review to saying, oh, I'm done with the quiz. I've gotten an 80%, which by the way is higher than the threshold of 70%. And so I'm okay. e-GMAT gave me that threshold and I'm going to do that. No, if you're aiming for that 90th percentile, figure out, why did you make those 2 mistakes? What was it? If you took longer, why did you take longer for a particular set of questions? And even when the questions that you got right, figure out, did you get them right for the right reasons? The closer to the quiz you do it, the greater you would benefit, and you'd really be a lot more confident doing the next quiz and the following quiz, and you'll see those scores. The other piece that I want to really show is to really say, okay, do not get disheartened. And if you can point out, DJ, the transition from SC medium to SC hard, you can see 100% to 60% score that happened on 9th of May itself. It's a hard quiz. you're going to make more mistakes. And again, that's where the learning is. It's not that you may say, oh man, I was scoring 100% in medium, and the moment I get too hard, I am not scoring that 100% anymore. So maybe I've lost my touch. Or no, that hasn't happened. It's hard. So hard quizzes, you're supposed to score lower over there. I mean, you scored 80% on a hard quiz, you are in that 95th percentile already.
I think great points, Rajat. Just going to move on to the revision bit now, and that's something that we spoke about, right? So, question: do you have conceptual gaps? We have a fix for you. Revision A. What is revision A? This is what revision A is. Now, as you can see here, once you've finished all of this, you've gone to cementing. What is that feeling you have inside of you? I've already attempted quizzes. I don't feel like going back and doing those things again. Right? That's feeling, and like that resistance, that I don't want to go back and do this again. And I want to point out one more thing here. And I was talking to Harshita about this today. He mentioned that it's all about acceptance as well. Can you accept? Can you accept that you have a conceptual gap? A lot of people just can't, because you feel that I just got this question wrong because I had no time. Like, you really need to sit down there, introspect, and see this in yourself. Be honest with yourself, because at the end of the day, you're going to give the exam alone. We're not going to give it with you. So be honest with yourself, accept it, go back, do those concept videos again, quizzes again, and this time around, review the solutions even more specifically and make notes, guys. Please make notes so that you can use these in the embedding quizzes that you take, in the custom quizzes you take, in the ability quizzes you take, and then the mocks and the exam itself. Make good notes, make detailed notes, right? Again, do you have process gaps? No problem. We have revision B for you. Now, I want to contrast revision B with revision A. What is the difference here? As you can notice, the key difference is you're not going through everything again. You're not going through the concept videos and quizzes again. You're just going through the application practice files. But this time, you're just sitting down on them and really, really deep diving into each step of the solution. And the solution is really well built, right? So you can really understand exactly what's coming from where. And therein you can see what you're missing out on, right? And while doing so, this is again where we tell you, please make notes and revise them, right? Um, just one quick poll for you guys, and since we're on revision, very, very important. I want you guys to tell me this, and this is key to one of the aspects that we're trying to cover in practicing the right way. Please tell me how frequently you revise these questions. I want to know how frequently you revise your questions, your concepts, your error logs, whatever you're revising. How frequently are you doing it? What's that momentum that you're building? Okay, we have 2 to 3 days, 6 to 7. We have 3 people who don't revise at all as well. Okay, we have more people who don't revise. Okay, I'm going to close down the poll now. Very interesting results here. So I just want to talk a little bit about this.
Dhananjay, you can also broadcast those results. I think we don't get to see them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a button over there. They probably should be able to broadcast
share results. Yeah. Yeah, I think you should be able to see it now.
Yes.
Yeah, guys. So this is, I really want you to see. Most of you think it's 6 to 7 days, but guess what? By the 7th day, you're going to forget everything that you learned 7 days back. You need to understand that, right? The brain doesn't function like that. You need to retain a lot of information in order to do well. And that's why you make those detailed notes. That's why you're supposed to do revision every 2 to 3 days. And for the people who are doing it 15 to 20 days and do not revise at all, guys, please start doing it. This is something that's going to change your life forever. Whether it's just this, and you can apply this to every little bit and every portion of your life, whether it's work or anywhere else. If you keep yourself well versed with something you've learned, you're really going to do, and you're really going to be good at it, right? So thank you again. We're going to move on to the next slide. So just before moving on to the next slide, guess what's back? Strategic review and error log. You have to do this even if you're doing revision A and B. So please do not forget about this. Okay, so I'm going to share this diagram with you. And I want you to tell me, is this the right approach? Is this specifically the right approach to strategic review? And I'm just going to go to the chat bot and see your answers here. Um, got it. So, okay, I'm going to wait 1 or 2 more minutes.
I don't have a poll, Dhananjay. I think
Um,
you have to close the other poll and then give
no,
them the.
Rajat, we don't have a specific poll for this. We just have this diagram. So I just thought I'll ask these guys about it. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you guys the answer. Guys, please, this is the wrong way of doing it. This is absolutely the wrong way. If you ask yourself, and again, this is about acceptance, ask yourself, do I know the concept? Do I know the approach? A lot of you may answer no, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. But what most students do, and this is something that comes from our learning from our schooling and then from what we've been taught. And I'll tell you why that works then and why it doesn't work now, right? You solve more questions. When you solve more questions, do you fix your approach? Do you fix those concepts? I don't think so, right? And then again, even after solving those questions, you only check the explanations for the incorrect questions. What about the correct ones? Right. So again, like you see, please do not do it. Do not do it this way. Now let me talk about that schooling system thing. When we did questions in school, our teachers, our mentors told us, okay, go and solve more questions. You'll get better at this. The reason why solving questions worked there was uh, the exam system was such that the very same questions would ultimately come on your exam. And if you've seen it, you can do it. But guess what? The GMAT is adaptive. You will never see the same question again. And how are you going to react then? Will you be able to solve it? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I was never able to do that. So what's the right way? What is the right way of going about a strategic review? If you know the concept and approach, even when you know it, by the way, that's when you still have to review the explanation and make an error log. And even when you do this, verify your approach, optimize things. Life is all about making things better and better and better. It's all about the iteration. So if you've seen a question 5 times, by the time you're on the sixth time, you know exactly how to solve it in probably 0.25x the time. And that's exactly the power of a good strategic review, right? And that's I can't emphasize that enough.
I want to just add one more thing to this. Go back. So I think you've made a great point, Dhananjay, about why it worked in the school system and why it doesn't work here. I think that's absolutely point on. I was spot on. I was going to really say this. I want to just add one other thing to it to really say on the GMAT, you might not see the same question again. You will see the same application again. And that's really important to know. I mean, for those of you who've been attending our either our SC or CR or RC live sessions, you really see this. I mean, we continue to see comparisons, segments. We continue to really see multiple entities in CR arguments. In RC passages, we continue to see the same architecture of the passage. So that application of, okay, how does an author express his opinions? In RC, how do those keywords come in? Or in SC, a similar set of sentence structures, those are repetitive. Why? Because it's the same application that comes in, and which is where that strategic review is really helpful. Because when you do that review, what you're really saying is, and again, when we say an error log, it's not only about this exercise of filling a cell in an Excel. It's about really identifying that when I got the sentence structure, this is why I made that mistake in SC. Or when I saw, the usage of most over here, this is where my mind did not visualize that kind of segmentation. Or in RC, going to really say the question was asking about author's opinion, whereas the answer choice that I chose was someone else's opinion. Doing that, telling yourself that, and writing that over there is really important, which is kind of why this error log is such a powerful tool that you, or strategic review, and then the outcome of that as an error log is such a powerful tool that helps you improve. For those of you who are subscribed to our YouTube channel, you see all of those success stories. One commonality you would really see is that they revise the questions they get right, and B, they revise them frequently. They kind of make these notes and they come back to these notes again and again. I mean, there are 101 success stories out there, and it's a fraction of what we have in our database. We just can't process enough success stories overall. But again, you would see this commonality, this one common thread.
I'm glad Rajat mentioned notes and bookmarks because that's what my next topic is. I absolutely read my mind there. So what is the objective of bookmarking questions? To put it very simply, It's basically to save a lot of time and effort, right? So I will take you through how to bookmark a question real fast, and how to use it, and how to plug it into your error log with a unique link right now, right? So we're going to go to this particular user's account. So if you go to your user info over here, you can see all of these tabs here. So you go to bookmarks over here, and you can see this particular user has bookmarked a lot of questions. All that you have to do is you copy the link address from here, and you go and basically paste it in Excel. So you paste it here, copy this again, and once you go back to this tab, all you have to do is paste it here, and you're back to the question. I mean, it's that simple, guys. And trust me, what does this do? Our main pain point in today's life is how do we save time? How do we save the effort? How do we optimize things? Again, coming back to the topic of our webinar, how do we practice the right way? This is part of it. This is part of practicing the right way, right? So this is how you bookmark these questions. You can see it in the bookmark tab here, and you can also select your section. There's You have different functionalities built in here as well, right? So that's something that should be your biggest takeaway, and it can reduce your time for review by more than 70%. So I really want you guys to use this tool to its maximum. And then, as Rajat mentioned, make notes. Make notes for right questions, make notes for wrong questions. And e-GMAT as a product, I mean, I haven't seen this anywhere else. We give you that freedom to make notes anywhere, whether it's concept quizzes or it's your Scholaranium. Please go ahead, make these notes, right? They help you recollect these processes and these concepts that you've learned throughout the course of your journey. And then once you're giving a mock, if you're giving a quiz, and even if you're giving the GMAT, you have this one spot where you can literally go back and say, okay, I just want to see my notes. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm just going to click on notes, and I can basically just see. I can see all notes I've made over here. You can view the note, you can delete the note. You can also see it for quizzes, right? So as you can see, incorrect questions, correct questions. Again, there's a bunch of things that you can really do with the platform that you should be doing, right? I'm not saying that don't make handwritten notes, but these are extremely useful. All right, and we give you a lot of space as well to write it. So here's this. This is the functionality. Before I go into the case studies now, I hope you guys have really understood why cementing is important, how to do it, and now this is where everything comes around full circle, right? At the end of the day, you want to know how to practice the right way and how to score well on it. So I'm going to show you a few real life success stories and failures. I wanted to show you both ends of the spectrum. That's why I'm showing you both sides. So we're going to start with Harshita over here. Now, you're going to see two case studies, same 10 weeks, and you're going to see the change in scores. Harshita's score reduced from 500. So she took a mock 24th of July. This is a Sigma X mock. Her score reduced to 250 on 12th of September. I mean, this can be devastating to you as a student, right? Like if I were to see the score, I would be absolutely devastated because I have studied all this while. I have put in the effort, but where has all that effort gone? It needs to be commensurate, right? That's what you think. So she had a starting score of 500, and that's reduced. Now I want you to look at this. I want you to look at just this picture and tell me what's wrong. Like, I mean, and that's something that I want you guys to see for yourself. And I've obviously highlighted it as well, but I will share it with you. But just look at what's gone wrong here. What's the difference between that ideal cementing process and this process, right? So let me tell you. Let me take you through this as well. Now, all of these quizzes that you can see, and there's no summary for this, but these are custom quizzes, guys. These are not cementing quizzes. And even in the custom quizzes, forget about just being the custom quiz itself. This person has not hit the accuracy level. So this person is practicing. This person is practicing a lot, by the way. And if you can see the dates here, they're putting in the time, they're putting in the effort, but they're not practicing the right way, right? And that's something that's very, very key. She did not take any cementing quiz, and that really killed her opportunity to get a good score. Because what happened? That transition was not there. She kind of failed on her performance. She couldn't manage her time on the test, which is why you see the score. She couldn't finish the test. That's why she's got such a low score. There's nothing else to it, right? Okay. Now you have Mansi. You have Mansi who took the same amount of time, has round about the same starting score, and she is improved to 760. So that's 130 points in 10 weeks by doing things the right way. So let's see what she did right, frankly, you know. And I'm going to first talk about what her starting point was, and I'm going to show you her account as well, right? So that's something that I want to show you. So she started off here, 34th percentile in SE, 49th in CS. So clearly there's this concept and there's process gaps here, right? And now I'm going to take you to her account, and this is a fun fact. By the way, this all this while, all that ideal cementing process, guys, that was Mansi's process. That picture that you saw before, this is all her, right? So look at this. This is exactly what she did, and this she did this for SC, she did this for CR. And just, I mean, this is data that you can see in front of your eyes that says, I did cementing right. I fixed the issues that I had in my ability. I did things in a structured manner, and I reviewed every quiz, and I improved. Right. So this is something that I really wanted you guys to notice, and see. Here you go. You can see how well structured things are, and look at this as well. The quantity of quizzes, the date she's taken them, and the minimum accuracy. That's something that you should do. Okay, so 14 weeks later, because then again she took a little while to take the GMAT. Uh, Mansi scored a 760. Now guess what, guys? She scored a V44. Her CR and SC percentile was above 98. Like, and that's something that again, I really want to highlight this. And as you can see, one of the instructors is Ashutosh. I had already mentioned him as part of the strategy team. He worked with her on this entire thing. And this is just goes to show, you do the right thing, you practice in the right manner, nothing can stop you from getting a 760 or above, right? And can't emphasize this enough. So we're going to move on to the we're going to quickly move on to the next failure. And again, this is going to be relatable, right? So 12 weeks, two students, same thing. Navsky was at 670, and the score is reduced. In fact, it reduced lesser in between, as you'll see now. So it went from 670 to 570 improvement, and then a 600 finally. And this is all in a span of about 12 weeks, right? So what happened here? What went wrong? Let's see. Now I want you to look at this again. What did Navsky do in the beginning? And this is Navsky is doing this, you know, right at the beginning. He's not taken any cementing quizzes, done nothing. Taken ability quizzes, taken custom quizzes, and that's helped him. It has not helped him at all. It absolutely didn't help him. Did not have the timing right. Did not have the concepts in place. And then this is what happened towards the finally, you have Vishwajit. Now, again, I just wanted to compare two quants, right, and two verbals. So same thing, 12 weeks, same starting score, by the way. And you have Vishwajit, who was quite weak. He had a Q45 in arithmetic. And by the way, Deepak worked with Vishwajit, and that's again another member of our strategy team, the guy from IIM Ahmedabad, if you remember. And he was genuinely weak in arithmetic. And look at the amount of effort he's put into cement. I want you to look at the discipline here. I want you to look at the fact that he strategically reviewed these quizzes as well. And look at how disciplined he's been about this. And I mean, the results are very clear, right? So 12 weeks later, Q49, V38, he's done really well, right? So that's something that I can't emphasize enough. So if I have a clear takeaway for you guys, it's this. It's that if you practice in the right manner, if you strategically review questions, ask why, ask how, use bookmarks, use notes, use Scholaranium, guys. It's a really powerful platform. You will score well. You will definitely score well. So before we get into the question and answer session, Ashutosh will just share a form with you in the chat to basically give us feedback on what we can do better, how the session went. Just fill that out so that we can get a better understanding. Till then, you can go ahead and please ask away. Ask me anything.
I think, DJ, let's go back one more slide. I want to say one thing. So a couple of slides where you had the data. So I think one thing that I want to tell you is just how concrete this data is. We actually have probably 40 to 50 case studies that, so you saw Dhananjay, you've heard about Deepak, Archit, Ashutosh, and many of you probably have interacted with Nava as well. So all of these guys, I mean, you know, even folks who, the kind of insights they have are insights that even people who take the GMAT don't have. And the reason they have this is because of the volume of data we capture from you guys and the case studies that we do to really say, okay, we see metrics going right. Do we see success? We go metrics doing wrong. Do we see failure? And it cuts both ways. If metrics go right, there's probably less than a 5% chance that we're going to see failure or not see success. And if metrics go wrong, there's probably less than a 5% chance that we're going to see success. So it cuts both ways. And you start getting these metrics right from the moment you start solving questions. I mean, there was a point where Dhananjay talked about, hey, what if you don't score well when he had that poll question and that medium cementing quiz? Even before you take that medium cementing quiz, your course metrics will tell you were not going to score well in medium cementing quiz. There's a prediction that can be made to really say, if your practice quiz scores are lower than 70% consistently in an SCC or RC number property scores, you probably will not do well in medium cementing quiz. There's a high likelihood of that. On the other hand, if it's above 70%, there's a high likelihood you will do well over there. So again, data tells you a story. You have access to the same data. What Dhananjay showed over is showed to you is data that, you know, is student data, not data that we get from our backend overall. And again, make use of that data. We want to give you a framework to really look at how to decide, but the more you make use of it, the faster you would improve. But yes, definitely fill this form out. It's very important. And yes, would love to hear. Dhananjay would love to hear your questions.
DJ, I'm sorry to cut in. I'm not able to share this form with all of you. However, I can share the link with you. Can you please share this with everyone?
Yeah, I've shared one form with everyone. Is this the one that you're looking at?
Yeah, I have just sent you the link.
Share this
It's shared with everyone.
It's shared, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's shared.
So guys, just please fill out this form. Really would appreciate it.
So this is the quiz form, and once the Q&A round is over, we'll share the overall
feedback form also. Got it. So yeah, the fun bit over here is we have that quiz. I hope you made notes. We have a clear point system as well. So I think Ashutosh will tell me the results of who scored the maximum. It's scored out of 50 points. It's going to take you like a minute and a half. Take your time, fill it out. I'd be more than happy to declare the winners here. So just take your time, fill it out. Until then, we can take any questions that you have. I'm sure you have a bunch.
DJ, you can actually show the responses or the results on your screen itself, so all the attendees can see it. Just stop sharing it, and then I'll share that link.
While that's happening, questions. You guys can unmute yourself, ask questions, or give feedback. Either way.
Hi Rajat, this is Himanshu. Can I start if you want, or someone else want to start first?
It's go fine. Ahead, Himanshu. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I want to tell you about myself, who I am, okay, and how I came to e-GMAT. Okay, so like everyone should know about me. Okay, so like currently I'm in Scotland. I'm working for a company, IT company. I'm a software developer. And I will tell you like just 2-minute story. So like I have been in Germany. So when I came back to India, I joined Times Institute. Okay, over there. Okay, then I prepared for some time. Then again, I have to come back to Scotland. So I just lost myself. And then again, I joined Career Launcher a few months back, like 3 months back. Okay, and then over there, I learned few things like how to tackle sentence correction questions and like few things they taught me. But like when it comes to higher level difficulty questions for sentence correction, I got lost actually. Like over there, they don't taught me how to tackle the questions which is of harder difficulty, and they were not doing any approach on the meaning based. Okay, they were just like like just mark something or something. You have to find what is the correct something like. I couldn't focus much on a higher difficulty level. Okay, so while solving official guide questions, I marked like it was taking time for me, like more than 2 minutes. Like it's going to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes for a single question. That's not a correct way to do it. Okay, like I can't proceed much. Anyway, I will come to failure only. Okay, and then first time I given my mock, I scored 400. I will like I should not hide anything. So I scored 400, and like I'm pretty much like devastated on my score because I'm a hardworking guy. Okay, and I'm giving time. Even then, the outcome is 0. So like I couldn't see anything improving over there. So I just joined e-GMAT, and like what Pi taught in sentence correction, that is a meaning based approach. Okay, so I completed 2 things in verbal section in sentence correction. This verb forms, and the other thing is this subject verb agreement over there. Okay, so I found myself improvement like in those questions. Like I improved over there a lot. Like and then I'm solving the same thing from GMAT Club, only selecting subject verb agreement questions and this verb questions. Okay, so like I found myself like I'm improving over there. Okay, then I'm into actually this quant trial. This one is going on actually on geometry. So I'm a part of that. So I just stopped the verbal section now, and I think e-GMAT will definitely I will achieve something over here. And like I just want to ask one thing. Like what should be my way for if I'm solving suppose if I'm solving subject verb questions. So once I finish that part, should I go to cementing and then I should select something over subject verb and do that, or first I should complete all sentence correction verbal part and then I should go over there for cementing?
Excellent question. Absolutely relevant to this entire conversation. So here is what I want to tell you. When you do sentence correction, right, Himanshu, we tell you to do stage 1 altogether. So you're doing subject verb, you're doing modifiers, parallelism, comparison, everything, right? Because that's where you're learning concepts. Now, for example, if I were to do what you're saying and go to the subject verb and just create a custom quiz from subject verb, firstly, I'm creating a custom quiz. I'm not creating a semantic quiz. You can't create a semantic quiz just for subject verbs. Secondly, when you come back, you've broken the flow of your learning, right? So that's not really going to help. So the simple and the straightforward answer to your question is, all you have to do is finish off all modules in sentence correction, and that's when you move on to cementing. And in cementing, you're going to see questions from all topics. So that's how you're going to test yourself, right? That's why you're going to evaluate yourself, and that's how cementing is done. And you already
Did
know
we
how cementing
lose
is done.
Dhananjay, or is it just me?
It's
Dhananjay, we
fine.
lost you.
No,
It's fine.
it's fine. Yeah.
I think I hope I've answered your question, Himanshu.
Yeah, yes, I got you. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure. I'm just going to share the quiz results now. So a lot of you scored really, really well. So I'm just going to, filter this out from largest to small. So I see a lot of people who scored really, really high, and most of these people seem to be from my mentorship cohort only. Great job, guys. So we have no winners here specifically, but really, really good job. And by the way, these are tricky questions. So good job in doing that. Ashutosh, can we share the form for the feedback as well?
Yeah, we can share that. And meanwhile, please, guys, you can shoot your queries regarding any study that you want. And
I'm sure you have questions, right? I mean, please.
And just to make this interaction, you can even start a video, and you can actually, so that all of us can see who are you, and all of us can see who I am. So yeah, so let's get it going. And meanwhile, I'm sharing the quiz. I'm sharing the feedback form.
Hi DJ. Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Vineet. Actually, thank you for this really nice session. My straightforward question is, I have already exhausted my, all the Scholaranium question. So do I really start with this custom quizzes, because cementing, I could not able to get more questions on that. So medium and hard level, do I need to really start? That's specifically I'm asking.
Oh, excellent question again. And I think a bunch of people will have this question that I've exhausted my questions. What do I do now? Guess what? A custom quiz can also be a semantic quiz, right? All you have to do is select medium, select the question bank as either incorrect or the ones that you've spent longer on, and then just select 10 questions. And there you have another semantic quiz.
I agree with that's how you can, but I think we need for you the question that you have to ask yourself is, are you at the cementing stage? That's so what DJ described is the right way to create a simulator cementing quiz if you can't do that. And the reason you probably aren't able to do that is because there aren't in if you don't have enough questions in any of the, so within a cementing quiz, we have 4 subgroups from which the question picker picks questions. If you don't have enough questions in any of the subgroups, that's when it happens. But the thing is, are you there is the first question you need to answer. But if you're there, then that's the way you would go about doing it. All right,
Sure,
next question.
You.
Hi, this is Ravi. Can I go forward?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi. So I basically have 2 questions. I'll ask them together so everyone gets a chance. First question is, when I was doing strategic review, I've seen Payal's video on grouping yourself, group A, group B, group C. A lot of questions, I feel like I don't fit into any of the groups, right? So, and I'm not sure how to fill my error log in such situations. That is my first question. And the second question is, what if I continuously stuck at 70%, which is basically the threshold, right? So exactly 70%. What should be my way forward?
Rajat,
DJ, you want me to tell? Yeah, I want
please
to
go
say
ahead.
this was more around.
I was looking at you and okay.
Okay, so Ravi, are you following the approach that we ask you to follow the same way?
Yeah. Are you talking about which approach? You mean the strategic review or the?
No, if it's solving the questions.
Yeah, meaning based. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for asking that question. I'm trying really hard to. I've not been using this way of solving questions. So it's actually taking more time for me, like practice more questions to really apply those.
No, so the reason I'm asking the question is because you said it doesn't fit any of the group A, group B, or group C. When it would not fit is if you were not following that approach, and that's kind of the source of my question for you, right? Because frankly speaking, those groups, if you look at from a set theory standpoint, encompass all the possibilities. You may have subgroups within these, but at a hierarchical level, they do encompass all the possibilities that exist. The only way you would exist outside that system is if you were not following that approach. So that's kind of where I am coming from. Now, I'll answer your second question, which is the timing piece. And this is, I'm going to draw 2 parallels. I mean, how many of you are aiming for a 2-year MBA? Just raise your hands if you just want to just do that. 2-year MBA, okay. You're going to learn all the frameworks that you have to learn, the 5 forces, 4 P's of marketing, blah, 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 over those 2 years. You're going to, Ashutosh, can you mute yourself? You're going to actually have all these case studies that you would do for 2 years. When you go into a real business world, how long do you think you'll need to make a decision? You'll get to make a decision on a $1 million investment. 3 days. The reason you spend 2 years doing this is so that you can make a good decision in 3 days. In the same way, the reason you spend 4 or 5 minutes learning the process is so that you can improve to that point that you can get to the answer in 90 seconds or a minute. And so if you don't invest those 2 years, you won't be able to make a good decision. In the same way, if you don't invest those 4 minutes, 5 minutes, going through the process early on, you won't be able to get down to solving hard questions in a minute. Another parallel that I can is draw for you is remember the time you learn how to tie a shoelace. First time it was, man, terribly difficult. And imagine how intuitive it is. So trust that improvement. Trust the fact that, hey, in sentence correction, the moment you see those sentence structures, and by the way, it's those 5 minutes and then the strategic review after that helps you garner that improvement or achieve that improvement. Why? Because why is it that you take 5 minutes in the first place? Because you saw a sentence structure, you saw a couple of nested lists, and man, you'd never seen that sentence structure. And so you say, okay, you're reading that sentence twice, thrice, just to get the meaning out of it. And do the strategic review, spend 20 minutes on that one structure. Next time you see it, you will not take 5 minutes. It'll take you 60 seconds. And the third time you see it, it'll take you 40 seconds. Because again, as I said, the structures repeat, the logic repeats.
Hi, can I go now? Hi,
Yes.
yeah, hi, I'm Deep Sood. Actually, I've just started doing the course in e-GMAT, I think for the past 1 month, I guess. I have started with my verbal section. I have finished with my SC, but the kind of improvement which I was thinking that I might, reach, but I think I haven't done that. So there's a little doubts regarding my practice, which I'm doing, I guess. So my concern is like that once I do my courses given in the E section, so there are verbal application files and there are the practice files. Once I achieve that, like maybe like I'm close to 80-85%. So when I go for any of the quizzes over there, so now I have a doubt. Like if I go for a custom quiz, so the custom quiz will have all the questions from all the sections of that particular section. For example, for SC, like I think all the question of the different variety, like maybe like verb ed, verb ing, and all, they will have all the questions from that. So how will I assess that whether whatever the option which I've studied in verb plus ed form, that I just want to test my ability in only the section which I've studied. So for that, probably I might be going through the custom quizzes. So
Hold on, Navdeep. You say, I've studied subject verb. I want to test my ability in subject verb.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So you have the quizzes in the course itself, right?
But after even doing that, I think that confidence is still not there. Like most of the time, what happens, like when I'm applying, like when I'm doing the questions, like questions, so I would say accuracy is still isn't reached to the level that I would like.
What is your accuracy in let's say subject verb application file?
In that file, I have 75%, 75 to 80%. But when I do the questions in the quizzes, it is very less. I don't know why.
Which quiz?
It's the quiz which I'm talking about. Just hold on, I'll just show you. Like if I take the custom quiz
In Scholaranium.
in the Scholaranium, yes.
Why would you take a custom quiz in Scholaranium after finishing just the subject verb module? I mean, you go to a business school, you're enrolled in the first semester, you've just done 3 courses. Would you go and make a multi-million-dollar investment?
No.
Then why would you take a custom quiz in Scholaranium that tests all the concepts? Even though it's tagged at subject verb, that's the primary error. It still tests you in knowledge of modifiers. It still tests you in knowledge of lists.
So
I mean, there is a reason why we call it 3 stages of learning, right?
Yeah.
Learn concepts and methods from the course. There's a reason why you go to a business school before you go and start a business.
Okay, so probably my approach is wrong, I guess.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm not as friendly as
No, that's okay. Like I need an honest opinion. That's why like I asked you this question. Like maybe it'd be very stupid question to ask, but like I joined this class only like a half an hour late. So like maybe you would have covered something that I have missed. So
we did cover this. It's not a stupid question. It's just I think you joined half an hour late, and that part shows in your question over there. But I mean, I understand the temptation. I'll be very frank. I understand. It's like I've been studying for 1 week. How much did I improve?
Yeah, agreed.
Do not. I mean, you joined a platform, right? There's a proven success with that platform. You have 44 people who work full time in helping you succeed. Trust the platform if you've paid money for it. Trust the methods.
The trust is there. That's why I've joined it. That's the whole point.
But then trust the methods to the process, man. Don't go to Scholaranium right away if we tell you not to go. Go after you finish the course.
Okay, fine. I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Rajat, Hitesh here. Oh, sorry. Shall I go?
Hi.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Hi, Rajat. Hitesh here. So I have one
Okay,
specific.
I want the DJ to respond because it is her session. I don't want to hide.
Okay, yeah, I
Finally.
mean, yeah, maybe it will be better. Yeah, so actually, I gave my GMAT last month and I got a score. So after that, I joined the e-GMAT course. So kind of, I have another GMAT scheduled on October 15th. So I went through the course like around 50% of the course. Like I was targeting mostly verbal because I scored a little less on the verbal side. So quant was perfect. So just wanted to know, like, because I'm going through the video files and all those stuff. So is there a way, like, is there anything you guys can provide, like a PDF kind of thing or something like which lists all the concepts? Because writing down the concepts every time, because the course is very huge, right? So I'm kind of forgetting everything, right? When I am going through the course.
Okay, excellent question. So first
Also,
question
like,
for you. I have a
very
counter
less
question.
time, right? So it's on
Yeah,
15.
fair enough. What was your score in the last GMAT that you took?
It was 700. So
It was
quant was
700.
51 and verbal was 32.
Verbal was 32, right?
Yeah.
When do you have a verbal 32? It's when you kind of mess up either one section really badly or you kind of do
Yeah,
okay
so
on
yeah,
two.
I had the ESR. So it's RC was good. RC was around 97 percentile, and both SC and CR were 50 percentile.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I don't even have to look at your ESR to see this. 700, firstly, great score. Having said that, when you look at SC and when you look at CR and you're at 50th percentile,
Yeah.
right? There's conceptual and process gaps there. And what I'm hearing from you is, I want the shortcut to success. There are no shortcuts to success. You have to go through the
Yeah, but
files.
we have a lot of Indian B schools deadlines, so I
Fair
thought of
enough.
giving one
Fair
more time.
enough. So
GMAT.
hear me out. Hear me out, right? You want to rush through the concepts, you do that. You go and give the exam again. You get the
Okay.
same score. Will that help you with the round 2 deadline or round 1 deadline?
Yeah,
I
no.
don't think so, right?
Yeah.
Give the GMAT one time, do things right, do not cut corners. This entire section, guys, is designed around the fact, please don't cut corners, follow that process because it's proven it is. It's proven, right? I've shown it to you.
I think one thing you should ask is what's the target score?
Yeah, I'm targeting around 760.
What does 760 mean?
Around, if I consider maybe Q50 or Q51 again, it will be around V40.
44,
Okay.
42,
Percentile,
44.
percentile.
What does percentile mean?
Yeah,
Yes.
99.
99. You want to be among the top 1 percentile of students and you want to get there by referring to notes or PDFs. Hitesh, do you see
just the concepts, Rajat, I'm
Yes,
talking about.
yes. But you want to be among the top 1 percentile of students and you want to say, I want to remember a few concepts, not internalize them and get there. And I want to be among the top 1 percentile of students.
Maybe for a revising purpose, I was asking specifically.
Yeah, but
I was not saying like I will not see the video and I will see only the PDF, but like last moment revising purpose, like, or maybe a daily revising purpose kind of.
Trust me, one thing. If you want to hit 99 percentile, you won't need to revise concepts.
Okay, got it.
Okay, it's like, you know, Bill Gates or Elon Musk don't go and revise the 5 forces framework when they make decisions.
Got it.
Okay,
Just
it's not
if I
concept.
can,
Yes,
if
please.
I can add something. So you guys have seen the success.
Yeah, so I
story of
just need
Mansi.
guidance actually because I have very less time. So what can I do like right now? So that at least my
Hitesh,
GMAT upcoming GMAT goes good. Yeah.
Hitesh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have seen the success story of Mansi, the girl who scored 760, right?
Yeah.
And she did in her first attempt. What do you think she did differently? Do you know 20 days ago how much you were scoring? So you're scoring close to 690. What difference did she make in 20 days? It was only the revision. And how it is going to help until you're not going to write it down. So that thing always works. When you are writing it down, right? When you're writing your notes down, you're not just involving one sense. You're understanding, you're writing, you're thinking. There are 3 senses that are working. So while you're writing, you'll also think about, okay, what happens if this is the case? What happens if this is the case? So while you're completing a sentence, you have answers to 3 different questions. So don't you want that to happen?
Yeah, got it.
This is the
No,
same
but
thing
yeah.
I told to Mansi, and right now she has 760. I would love to see 760 for you, and then yeah, that way you have to do the hard work. I think there is no other way out.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Writing the notes of someone does
Yeah,
not
I
help.
think yes, not help. Yes, I think I want to double down on what Ashutosh said. It's just remember this: 760 means is that you have to cover the gaps that you have, not what I think you have,
Yeah,
which is where the notes need to be made by you.
got it. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. You know,
All right.
I was just asking because the course is like, yeah, but really long for me, maybe. Yeah, so I was getting them, but yeah,
No, it's not huge, man. I mean, people finish the course in 20 days. It's 20 days of concentrated effort.
okay, got it.
Okay. And again, if you're aiming for that 760 score, then that's something which is enough. If you're aiming for the 730, don't do CR. Let your CR be there. Just do SC. You'll get to that 730 still. But if you want 760, you've got to do both. I mean, it's like they say, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right?
Yeah,
You've
got it.
got, if you want that 760, you need to put in that effort. Take some days off work.
Yeah,
Okay.
got
Guys,
it.
just one thing. We have 48 people and we have 13 responses. I think you guys have missed the feedback form. Can you please do it?
Yes. Let's. Okay. Priyanka wanted to had a question. I think she.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hi. Who's going next? Or may I?
You please go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for the session. It's been really, really helpful. I have been in contact with the e-GMAT support team, and DJ, you have assisted me in coming up with a plan. I just wanted to ask, I saw that in one of your case studies, somebody spoke about an e-GMAT mentor, and I just wondered how does one go about setting that up? I understand that you've got thousands of students that you are looking after, and I just wanted to know what does that entail, and how do we go about
Rajat
arranging
is
that?
taking this one.
Yes. They're looking at me because. All right. So good question. So this we have. So all of this research that you see, all of these guidance that you see over here, is and this continuous improvement is an outcome of a lot of research, and this research is where mentorship is one of the places where we do research. We have kind of within the company multiple experiments going on. So as mentorship, we don't really offer as a program out of this, but each one of you, when you see these methodologies, you benefit from the mentorship piece overall. So from time to time, as we enroll new groups, we contact you. And just to really tell you, I mean, on the mentorship part, we don't make any money out of it. I'll be very, very frank. I mean, we charge you $300. We probably spend $1,200 on a mentee, just because a mentee, and we make you sign a few agreements so that, because again, remember, when we're doing things, there are a few things that work, there are a few things that don't work. And in many ways, more things work than things that don't work. But the reason for that is because we spend that time, we invest that time, we ensure you succeed. But and when we get what works and what doesn't, each one of you benefits from it, because those things come here in these strategy sessions. Yeah, the answer to this is we don't have a open enrollment mentorship program. We have an invite only one, and then the next time we start a batch, a few of you will get these invites, is what I would say.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, one more question, if I may. Do you know the live sessions that you've started for RC, SC? Will you be doing those for Quant as well?
We will be. So I don't have a date for you, is what I would say, but I'll give you one thing that we have a major. I don't know if you've seen the blog post around Quant 2.0. We have a major overhaul that's kind of planned for the Quant course. We'll be releasing that in the next 40 days. So if you like the verbal course, you would fall in love with that course. I mean, that's kind of yeah. So that's where I would say. So probably towards the end of this year, not before that. It's just we have 6 people who are working full time, 6 SMEs working full time, and in creating that quant course along with about another 4 ELEs over there. So and we'll be doing the first launch of this um, by the end of October with algebra, number properties, and geometry. So yeah, so that's what I can tell you right now.
Thank you.
Hey DJ.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, I've been waiting for a long time actually, since I think one of the first initial.
Okay, let's go, Shankar. Let's go.
Hi, I'm just going to take 30 seconds to first thank the 3 of you, Dhananjay and Ashutosh, for your constant responses on all my, because I'm getting a platform, I'd like to thank you for that. And Rajat, again, for building such a wonderful platform. It's been really helping a lot. I'll just get straight to it. RC and CR, but more specifically RC, when I give the mock exams, I just noticed that I'm taking a lot of time to read. And I've been doing speed reading tests. It's just that I don't read a lot, so I am a bit slow in reading. And even when I do those speed reading tests, I see that I'm a bit lower than the normal average people in terms of reading. How do I build on this is my only question, because that's where I'm lacking. When I take too much time to read a passage, I end up compromising other things. So my accuracy is fine most of the time, but it's just my reading which is really impacting my score.
You're doing the speed reading test, you said, right?
Yeah.
So what's how many words per minute?
147 words per minute.
Is what you read today?
As of, yeah.
Okay. How long is an RC passage, the maximum length?
Okay, I haven't done that research to see how many words.
I'll tell you, it's about 400 words maximum. The longest RC passage you'll see about 400 words. The average RC passage is about 310, 320 words. Okay.
Okay.
So speed reading is not your problem. Comprehension is. You want to make sure, actually, I would say go slower, but get to the point where you comprehend so well that you answer the question in about 60 seconds. Have you enrolled in any of the in the RC live sessions batch?
No, not yet.
Okay, please. We should have a batch starting next week. Enroll in one, and in that we have 2 sessions on reading strategies, 2 sessions on just applying those strategies overall. GMAT is not a test of speed. I mean, in real business, you're not rewarded to make instant decisions. You're rewarded to make good logical decisions in a reasonable amount of time. So please don't think that the GMAT is a speed reading test. No, it's a test where you can comprehend the transitions, where you can understand what comparisons are being made, where you can really see how the author kind of meanders through various aspects, and if he gives his opinion or whether he doesn't, or whether he's merely presenting. You're being evaluated on judging that. Okay, and there's a very specific way you want to, because remember this, on RC you're not supposed to be, or in fact in any aspect of the GMAT, you're not supposed to be a subject matter as expert. One of the big problems we have when we study for the GMAT versus what we do in our day-to-day life, most of us in our day-to-day life are supposed to be subject matter experts. If I'm a coder, I'm supposed to be one of the good coders. I'm supposed to understand this. I'm a program manager, I'm supposed to understand the constraints. So as I say, the code composed of whatever is given to me, I need to understand, get to that higher level of meaning. In RC, you're not, or in fact, anything on the GMAT, you're not supposed to be a subject matter expert. You're supposed to be able to make good decisions based on the information given to you. So that's kind of where you need to modulate your reading. I
want to add to this. I just want to add little to this. I think Rajat has pretty much mentioned 90% of it. By the way, Shankar, 147 words per minute puts me to shame because I'm at 90 and I read books. I genuinely read a lot. 147 is way too fast. So what is happening is you have all of this information that you're reading, but are you really comprehending it at the same rate? I don't think so. It's probably half the rate. So what's happening is you're reading ahead, but you think about what you've already read. So what you're reading ahead, you don't remember, right? There's a lag.
Yeah.
In software terms, there's a lag, right? And that's in your brain. There's that lag in your brain. So you don't remember anything essentially. I would say tone down that speed and focus on critically reading. So you need to find that balance. If I read about 90 words per minute, I found that balance because then my brain can work at the same rate my eyes are working at, right? And that's what you need to find for reading comprehension. I worked with this guy, Amit, for 5 months. He's from a Hindi medium school, absolute zero comprehension. He went through master comprehension like 3 or 4 times. And all that he did, we did this exercise together. I did this with him. We just critically read articles from the New Yorker or the Economist. And I just asked him questions that now that you've read all of this, what do you think of it? And when he started off, he had no answers because he was not comprehending while he was reading. Once you can answer these questions, you're there. That's when you start doing better in
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Hi
I
guys.
think Mithali, let's go ahead.
Yeah, hi guys. First of all, thanks a lot for all the help that you guys are giving all of us, and I think I speak on everyone's behalf here. It's a great platform. Really helped a lot. I'll just come to my question now. I gave GMAT about a month ago, and I scored 700, and I'm hoping to. I think and the major problem that I had even in my last exam was the time issue. So the concepts were there, but I think maybe the process application was not up to the mark, and hence I was lagging in time. I have pretty much done the entire sentence correction course on e-GMAT, and I've done the cementing quizzes, medium level as well as the hard level. Medium level also, I'm scoring 90%, 70%, 80%, 80%. These are my 4 scores on medium, and on hard also I'm getting 70, 70, 50, 70. So this is what I've done on cementing. And after this, probably I shouldn't have taken, but I just took one ability test, one ability quiz, and I really did very badly because I couldn't again, do it on time. So, and after that, I stopped doing ability quizzes. I then started doing OG practice. Till now, I'm not getting really confident about my timing. Still, I feel that I'm taking more than 1 minute 30 seconds, 1 minute 45 seconds for a lot of questions, and I want to use sentence correction as a leverage so that I can give more time to reading comprehension, because that is where I think I need more time to devote. I'm really struggling with this, and I just wanted to understand from you, how can I really improve on my score? And to is it because I'm using this process and it'll take some time for me to internalize it, and then my timing will come down? And how long would it be, because my exam is on 19th of October? So
Mithai, thank you for your question. Again, a great question. I'm sure that you're looking to support about this already, right? And then they've probably had a look at your ESR. If you haven't, then do it immediately. That's one.
yeah.
The second thing is, you did everything right up to the point where you took that ability quiz, and then you were in the dark. Then you were like, that's when you got yourself devastated, and you totally shook up, right? That how is it that after studying for so long, I have managed to
Yeah.
score so less? And that's exactly what I spoke about, right? There's that factor of demotivation when that goes wrong. So because now the reason behind that is very simple. You were lacking those process skills. So there's a bunch of things that you could have done. So for one, you ideally should have been strategically reviewing all your questions after every quiz. I don't know if you've done that, but definitely go back, do that, revise, make notes. That's one.
You're talking about cementing quizzes.
Yeah, cementing quizzes. Talking about cement, not any other quizzes. As far as the OG questions is concerned, that was, I think, a knee-jerk reaction. Absolute knee-jerk reaction that this is not fixed it, so maybe that will, right? So that is something that we have emphasized in this session. Don't do that. Trust the process, because if you don't trust something completely, you will not see the results. And finally, you were absolutely right about the internalizing thing. Now, your question is, how long will it take? Now, my question to you is this: are you able to 100% apply the 3-step and the meaning-based approach in SC today?
I would,
You would say
I
no,
think I'm
maybe.
there, but what is happening is that for applying that process of dividing it into clauses, understanding what part is modifying what, and all of those things is taking, I think, more time right now, and hence my overall time is more than 2 minutes when I completely forget about anything, and I'm really focusing on the process. So that is where I think losing a lot of time on. And I have been doing strategic review, not every 2 to 3 days, but every 6 or 7 days. And but still, that confidence is not coming in. I think I'm questioning a lot whether, oh my God, if this verb and G modifier actually makes sense with this or not. I think I'm doing a lot of back and forth while doing the analysis, meaning analysis of the sentence. So that is why I thought maybe I should, and I think I understand.
Let's
Yeah.
just, so you, what was your score in hard cementing quiz? The max you've gotten?
I have in hard cementing quiz, I have gotten 150% and 270% and 180%.
Got it. Good. So when you did get those, as you go to the quiz results screen, I mean, DJ showed a great example. There probably are. So one of the things which, as a principle, and I think this is a case which is, even though we're talking about your case, it applies to many other people. Figure out causality. And when you look at those hard and medium cementing quizzes, you wouldn't have taken 2 minutes on every question. There would be questions where, which is what I call as indicators of friction. Figure out where you've taken longer. Revise those questions. And one of the things that you should do is really say, okay, there's a sentence, there's a reason why you took 2.5 minutes on a certain question, right? I mean, there's a sentence structure that which probably stumped you. There was as you really said, verb ing modified. Does it make logical sense? Those are things that that if you, so in the exam environment, when you go and take that medium or hard cementing quiz, if that time indicator and the accuracy indicator shows those friction points, if you eradicate those friction points right then and there, next time you will not face that. So if I were you, I would do two things. One is go back to those cementing quizzes and look at the questions where you took longer, the longest, top 4 questions in every quiz. Go back, review the solution, ask yourself, why did you take long? Figure out the causality. That's one piece I would do. The second thing is, did you attend Payal's SC1 and SC2 sessions, which were there with this batch, or Stacy's sessions?
I have attended one of Payal's session on meaning.
No, not the free session, the paid sessions.
No, I'm not subscribed to.
Did you activate the 15-day trial full access?
Yes, I did. I have not attended the SC ones. I did some RC ones, I think. Yeah.
Okay, you probably have access to the recording of the SC1. Please watch the recording of SC1 and SC2 specifically. Do the post-session exercises. That SC2 session has a bunch of complex sentence structures.
Okay.
You would be surprised how much improvement you would see based on this. Okay. So and Ashutosh, you can probably help get her access to that, or tell her if she has questions where that SC2 is. So write to the team and then they can really tell you if how to access that, the recording of that one, and the post-session exercises for that SC2 session. I mean, you would benefit tremendously. But again, I'll second what DJ said. Don't, when solving those OG questions with a knee-jerk reaction. Whenever you see a delta in performance, attribute causality rather than saying, let me do this and maybe this would help it. If you don't spend that time to attribute causality, then in my opinion, you don't deserve that 750 score, because 750 scorers do that. Attribute causality as to why something happened. One of the other things that I'll talk about, 2 days ago, we had a CR workshop. Anyone over here who was a part of CR workshop? It was an 11 question quiz that we did with as a part of the live sessions. And in this quiz, there were, two kinds, actually the 3 or 4 different segments of people who were there. But there were people who actually said, okay, I'm going to make sure every question that I do, I'm 100% confident of that question. And those people, a few of them out of 11 were only able to attempt 9 questions, but they got 8 right. There were others who really said, I'm going to attempt every question. And those people typically ended up getting 5 right. So even when you're struggling for time, don't rush through things. Don't worry about finishing things. Whatever you do, you need to be 100% confident of what you're doing. So in that ability quiz, Mithali, I don't know how you approached it, but had you approached it with this manner, I think you probably wouldn't have gotten as good as a cementing quiz, but you would have done slightly better than what you have.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of my other piece. But again, let's address the cause, and then you won't even fall short of time. Is what I would say.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys.
Rajat, I'm Krishna.
Go ahead.
Hi, Rajat, I'm Krishna. So I've taken the e-GMAT test in May. I'm like just started the maybe 4 months back. I've started the e-GMAT preparation. So I've around for 2 months I have taken the concept in stage 1 of SE. And maybe around 1.5 months for only cementing. First 2 tests I've taken, I've faltered, and then I've did the revision A, and then did again the 2 semantic quizzes again, and then I again faltered. So I've keep on taking them. Later I realized that I have to do the strategic review, and then I started from the starting, and it really took a long time for me. And then I've followed the process correctly, and maybe after in the fourth month, I was like for the hard quiz I have taken, I've scored 100% in the hard quiz as well. So for all the hard quizzes, I was able to understand the meaning. I was able to put the process correctly. But after these live sessions, after attending the PILES live sessions in the workshop too, I've got around 70 percentile. Okay, so then I thought maybe then I've got underconfident because it was not so confident because I'm not able to consider the timing or felt underconfident about this. And there's like my account expires on October 30, and maybe what if I continue to do the same thing for all of the subjects?
Okay, hold on. Prior to workshop, how much of SC were you doing 4 days prior to that?
I stopped doing SC because I've
how much SC were you doing 4 days prior to that?
How much SC? I didn't get you.
4 days prior to sentence correction, prior to the workshop, how much sentence correction did you do?
I mean, I used to practice like around 10 questions a day, and later I reduced them. Maybe weekly,
okay.
I used to.
4 days prior to the workshop, very specific question. How many questions had you practiced, or what all revision did you do 4 days prior to that workshop?
I have gone through the concept, summaries PDF which has been given, and that's it. I didn't get much time to practice all. I thought of doing it, all the sessions, all the live sessions, PDFs. I thought of
but you did revising. That, right? You did that. Do you really think it's fair to compare your performance? I mean, essentially what you've been saying is I've been practicing spin bowling, and then I faced the fastest bowler. And I expect to perform the same way when I was practicing fast bowling 20 days ago. I mean, 70 percentile is a good score, but understand, if you weren't in the groove, you won't hit 90th percentile, right? There's a reason why we have, I think there's a phase called test readiness, which they will talk about in another session. You went into the workshop without being test ready, and you still scored 70 percentile. There is a lot of hope for you, my friend.
Okay, but what is I cannot take the e-GMAT platform for maybe for the renewal more than 5 times, I guess. So how would I be?
I mean, your case
how
is a class. Let me just say this. Your case is a classical case of where the reason you took the initial 4 months was because you went in a zigzag format, right? Now frankly, if you're going in the right way, then in that case, you focus on excelling in CR, then get into the test readiness mode. That test readiness mode is about a week long once you're done with SC and CR. Actually, if you're just with SC and CR, it's going to be about 3 to 4 days. So it's not, I understand you've had those 4 months, but understand that the reason you've had those 4 months is because you're doing zigzag. You weren't doing things the right way.
Okay, so and in this process, I have exhausted all my cementing quizzes for the medium level. So because of that, maybe I was not able to attend the ability quizzes. It says no enough questions to take the ability quiz. What am I supposed to do at that time? So I thought, recently there's a module, 10th module in the SE, which has got this ability quiz.
Okay, here is something that I will tell everyone, and this is a lesson for everyone. You are studying CR, right?
Yeah.
Don't do this. When you're doing, I think one of the things that you have to tell yourself is not just what you will do, but what you will not do. If you're studying CR, just because you have an SC session or an SC workshop coming up, and because it's a part of your free trial, you decide to attend that, do not do that. Because you will get this result, and as an outcome of this result, you have this doubt upon yourself, despite scoring 100% in a hard cementing quiz. I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation had you not taken this workshop underprepared, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's kind of where I don't do that, please. You know, if you wanted to take that workshop, you should have prepared yourself gotten into that exam readiness mode for SC. There is, if you look at this, you were attending SC sessions. We did share a study plan with you, right?
Yeah.
What did that study plan say you needed to do before the SC workshop?
All the prerequisites need to be completed.
What were the prerequisites? You don't know those because you didn't pay heed to that. I think it's like wrong input leads to wrong output, right? And so again, there are these things that are given to you with a purpose in mind. And there were 2 revision days before the SC workshop.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, your question, in my opinion, is not valid considering you didn't prepare for the workshop. You still got 70%. For me, that's a good thing. For me, there's a lot of hope for you if you still got it.
So how do we? So how do I test my ability? Now I cannot access to the ability quizzes. How do I know where?
You're doing CR. You're doing CR, right?
Yeah, I'm doing CR right now. I'm in the stage 1.
Don't stop bothering about SC, please. If you've gotten a score of 100 in hard cementing quiz, your problem is CR right now. Please stop bothering about SC.
Okay. So after CR, and when should I be bothering about SC then?
After CR, right to these guys, they'll tell you test readiness quizzes. You'll be able to create those.
Okay, but here I'm not able to, take the ability quizzes for the verbal ability as well. How is that I'm going to
write to them? They will tell you.
I'm sorry that I'm sorry to interrupt. Krishna, you can do one thing. Do write to support@egmail.com, and we will tell you a customized way how you can actually check your ability by using the custom quiz. So ability quiz, I know that they are limited, but there are a number of ways to simulate our ability using custom quizzes, because all the quizzes are actually created using custom quizzes.
Okay. Ashutosh, I need to leave because I have to go for our next meeting, which is in 10 minutes. I think you need to leave as well, please.
Yeah. So
guys, just to leave it off.
Thank you, guys.
Support. Yeah. So just try to support at the e-GMAT for any questions. You'll hear from one of us, right? So you'll get the best possible reply. We do have to rush for another meeting now. Thank you so much for attending, and I hope to see an email from one of you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really hope that you guys email us and whoever asks us question and to whoever we asked to write, please do write us, and we have share a feedback form link. Do share it with us. It kind of encourages us to conduct more sessions of these types and to actually hear from you guys directly, right? And if you guys have more queries, do shoot out to support@egmail.com and you will actually get the same kind of support. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
guys. Thanks so much.